Hi, I'm Bob Gallagher, the mayor of the city of Bettendorf, Iowa. Today is Friday, November 4th, 2022. Welcome to my office at City Hall. I thought today we'd take an opportunity to talk a little bit about strategic planning and the purposeful way the city of Bettendorf engages a consultant to walk us through all kinds of things over a weekend retreat so that we can provide goals for things to be accomplished over the next year to our staff and department heads before the budget season so that the budget can reflect those goals that we create. Our fiscal year here for the city of Bettendorf runs July 1st through June 30th. So we're really working on July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024 strategic planning. And the budget, which will have to be certified in March of 2022 for that same fiscal year, will reflect some of these things. So we meet for about 20 to 25 hours here in City Hall. We start on Friday. This year we did it on October 21st through the 23rd. And we start on Friday about 4 o'clock. We get done about 9, maybe 10 o'clock. We run from 7:30 a.m. Saturday to about 5 p.m. and do the same thing on Sunday, and we maybe cut out a little early on Sunday if we can get our work completed. We start on Friday with our department heads and learn what accomplishments we had during the last year and what we would look forward to in each department moving forward. Kind of a SWOT analysis, if you will. What are our opportunities? What are our strengths, weaknesses? Where are we headed? So that then council can meet all day on Saturday and Sunday, review the things that have happened, and set new goals. We set goals and policies for 5 and 10 years down the road and break them into what needs to get done next year to try to accomplish where we want to be down the road. Those goals or action items are ranked, and we come out with top and high priority action steps to be taken next year. So we have this big plan document that we continue to work from. It starts with a table of contents that we go back through and we talk about what makes us a championship team and the culture that we have here, and then go through some of that process that I shared with you. I'm going to pop over to where we ranked our high and top priorities in both policy and in management items so you can get a feel for what you should look for next year. Once this is all completed and further reviewed by our city administrator and myself, we create a laminated piece that everybody, every department head and council member has right there on their desk so they know the marching orders for all departments and what things we're trying to accomplish. So let's talk about those things that we're going to try to accomplish beginning next July through the following June. Some of this will bleed in earlier because we don't necessarily work on that fiscal year I talked about. But our top priorities from the policy standpoint, those are the things that council wants to get accomplished, include finishing off our medic agreement so the ambulance service in this community stays at the par it's at or even gets better. Second, we are growing as a city and we have to develop a city master plan for where that growth in terms of our employees might be, especially now that we have divested ourselves effective December 1st of the Life Fitness Center and the offices there. We have to kind of look to the future and make sure we have great offices for the wonderful people who work here at the city. We want to continue to work on a west of the I-74 bridge development and monitor our work with great developers who are amassing properties there. We want to continue to enforce, and maybe at a better clip, so slow down, speeding tickets and stop signs. We're having folks reporting all kinds of different problems as we continue to grow. We've got new cops on the street, and they're going to be watching for you, and that's a policy directive coming straight from City Council. We want to continue to work on our juvenile crime efforts. It's a regional thing, but we still have juveniles coming into our city, and some who live here, creating a negative way of life for some of us residents who have been victims of those crimes. We're going to, from a policy standpoint, come after those folks as best we can. Since the facility at the fitness center has been divested from the city, we're going to continue to look for opportunities in senior fitness and gathering spaces. And lastly, we've got a trouble spot in our city at the Magnolia Hawthorne neighborhood, and we are going to implement an action plan to remove that trouble spot. So if you're in that area and you've been calling, thank you. And if you're in that area and you're causing trouble, that's not going to continue to happen. Our policies for our high priorities, for City Council include our City Attorney's Office that is now working on all kinds of things we didn't have to, including these FOIA requests for information. We're glad that you have the opportunity to get whatever information you want, but there's a process we go through to get you that information. So we'll be looking to maybe increase the ability to get those things and other things done in the City Attorney's Office. We're looking forward to another round of SAFER grants for 4 more firefighters we'd like to add to the City of Bettendorf. We are working on an infrastructure policy and developer assessment, kind of how we look at these growing developments in our city. We are looking at a sewer plan for I-80 to open up some annexation ground north of I-80, but also to service the property just under the bridge of Interstate 80. And we are working on strategies at Duck Creek Plaza and even other spots in town for redevelopment. We certainly see things that could be done, and working with our developer friends might have something coming to you on the horizon. We continue to worry about some safety issues in some of our schools, and we're working with the folks that are both public school districts to build relationships and provide the help that we can. And lastly, we've got some berms we've allowed to have completed in developments that I think are eyesores that we're going to continue to work on from a policy standpoint. That's the high and the top priorities out of 28 things that council people wanted to discuss. Not that the others won't be important or could get done, but we have to give our staff the marching orders to complete those things we believe in and rank. Our management targets for action include the following top and high priorities. These are the priorities that the management team will be working on. They're not necessarily policy in nature. So top priorities include a cybersecurity policy and response plan, a comprehensive city staffing compensation study, a comprehensive plan and zoning ordinance update and review, a policy for retention ponds, continuing to work with our friends at TBK Bank Phase 2 to ensure they have all of the things they need to get open on time, a Parks and Recreation master plan, and developing implementation actions for keeping Veterans Memorial Park the way we'd like it up to speed. Our high priorities include a citywide information technology plan, working on labor negotiations because our contracts are coming due, putting in some new software citywide. Our software right now is 32 years old, and it's all in silos in each department, and they don't talk to each other. So a brand new ERP is going to be awesome for the city. It's going to be costly, but it'll certainly make us much more efficient. We're going to continue to work on our sewer projects. We're looking at an annexation strategy so we can figure out where we want to grow. We're going to continue to monitor construction in our urban park, which is under the I-74 bridge. It's going to be an awesome park. We're working on quiet zones now that CP will be increasing the amount of rail traffic through our town. And we're going to continue with our implementation with the YMCA of that agreement. There were 26 of those items on the management list that we prioritized. So as you can see, we go through a pretty arduous process of making sure that we're putting forth exactly what we're asking of our employees and department heads so that we have a vision that contains these action steps. It takes a lot of time, and we're going to do another 3-day weekend when we look at the budget because we have to plug these projects in along with the capital improvement projects like streets and sewers and make sure all of that is done the way you, the resident of the city of Bettendorf, wants it to be done. Top-notch, high quality as a premier city. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend.